Yeah. 2000. It was 2000. Dixon and Blake Baxter and Blake, all those kids. So it was 105-70 in that game. And Earl Watson had a remarkable line in that game, 17 assists, no turnovers, didn't miss a shot from the field, didn't miss a free throw. He was he tied Magic's record for NCAA tournament history of assists. And if I'd known, I would have left him in the game. We're up 35, I didn't want him injured. And so I took him out. He could have broken Magic's record. He's never forgiven me for that. But that was similar. You know, we were, I think, probably similar shooting percent. I don't know if it was 17 straight baskets, but it was an unusual game. And then you realize, you know, we were up 46 in the first half. And I was looking up and kind of thinking that couldn't be possible, you know. And I think we ended up winning by 35. So it had a little similar feel, but of course it was an ACC team. They won the ACC that year. They're the best defensive team in the ACC that year. So it was a little more surprising than this game.
Steve, what has the process been like trying to bring this out of Orlando and get him to be a little more aggressive?
Just, you know, staying with it, like with all the kids, with Marco and Max, and trying to do the reps in practice, get the drill work. You have to have the drill work and the reps in practice and learn from video, and then stop enough in terms of instruction and trying to give context or perspective. And I think that was one of the interesting things. I think Rashid was able to break out some today, and clearly Orlando broke out and Marco broke out. So we had three players there that were able to, you know, find their rhythm, play with a level of aggressiveness and confidence, and it paid off for our team as a whole. Because when we have such balance, as I've said before, this is the most balanced team I've coached in my career. And you guys know, I think it may not be till February, March that we really get to see the team come together, find their stride, or gel, as a coach would like us to, would like his team to gel. But there is a nice balance, and I thought Orlando showed his versatility for a player his size, be able to knock down threes, bring the ball after rebounding it down the middle of the floor and play make over the top, make such good decisions in the break is a real weapon for us to use. Justin Brownlee did a little bit, DJ Kennedy, but Orlando has shown that, and the defense, blocking shots, rebounded, and play making with his back to the basket, facing the basket, you know. So, but I'd say it's really just encouraging him and continuing to get work. And I think, you know, he missed a year and he missed those 6 months with the shoulder surgery. So that's a big part of why I always talk about March or February with this team. You know, Phil Green's 6 months behind the rest of the group. Orlando's 6 months behind because of their hip and their shoulder labrum surgeries. And then Rashid is, a couple months behind because of his back injury in the summer, and then just being a freshman stepping up. So there's so many pieces that affect what we're trying to do, and it's why it's going to be a couple months. As frustrating as that is, I wish we were a buzzsaw hitting on all cylinders today, but it's going to be a couple months.
Steve, lots being made about some of the freshmen nationally. Can you just kind of assess, I know you talked about Rashid there, but where is Rashid? He came in averaging 25 points as a high school kid, and his career high total is 9. Are you looking for him to score more going forward?
I think it's this is a team where it's going to be different people, different nights, and so that's the strength of this group is I think we have 5-6 players who are capable on any given night of torching the nets, and on a night like this, everyone torched the nets, and that's nice. But what's good is if a young player like Rashid is still coming along and growing in the maturation process or the transition from high school to college, when you have a surrounding group of veterans who can carry the load, then it doesn't put undue pressure on a player like Rashid. So, but I think nothing Rashid will do will surprise anyone in our program. Just like Orlando, we see that every day in practice. So it's not that's why we recruited him. And I think every player on the team would be the first to tell you Rashid is as gifted a player as I've coached in my career. So nothing he does will surprise me. This is just a unique group. They're a fun group to coach, and they're eager, and they know they've got a long way to go, and we're a couple of months from hitting our stride. But I think we made some progress today. This was a step in the right direction.
Steve, I know you often talk about the process and how this team will take a little while to gel, but how important was it for them to see at this point in the season what they can be and what their potential really is? Because I imagine a game like this is the blueprint for how you draw it up.
Well, I mean, I doubt we'll play a game like this the rest of the year, realistically, you know, but.
Just from a chemistry standpoint, really.
I think, I just think that that makes such a boring copy for you guys. I don't know what else to say. It's just, I think there's a real pragmatic side of me that just doesn't get too fired up after a win or too down after a loss. It's more like, okay, let's get better. You know, I think the kids probably, or fans, tend to go, you know, swing wildly that we're the greatest or we're terrible. And the reality is we're the same group that lost a close game to Penn State, you know, and tonight we won by 4-6, but it's the same group. I can see it coming. That's why, because I've coached so long, and you know, you get to be my age, then you know this is just part of development, part of process. So I thought today was a step in the right direction, but by no means have we arrived. There are a number of things I'm not happy with. We have so far to go before we're going to be a competitive team at this level, and that's why we know it's probably going to be midway through league play that I think we might be able to have a better sense of what we're capable of come March. You know.
Right here, Coach.
Steve, in terms, Savir's gotten a lot of attention. Did you challenge your guards specifically to stop him and put any particular point of emphasis on that?
No, we definitely, it wasn't so much like a personal challenge. It was just that Frazier and Savir, you know, they're the head of the dog of Fordham's team. And if you look at the numbers, when they play well, you know, Fordham is a competitive team. And when they don't play well, Fordham struggles. And so that was, you know, similar to the Penn State game where you had Frazier and Newbill. We knew we had to stop these two. We did a better job in this game than we did Penn State, clearly. So it was the idea was just to keep constant pressure on them. We think we had 11 players play double-figure minutes, similar to what we did against Georgia Tech. We didn't press in this game, but we kept the pressure up. And because you don't have to full court press to be a pressure team, you can be a really effective half court pressure team. And with our shot blockers deploying, you know, our big men in a manner that's going to help our team win is what's most important. And there's times we're having your you know, shot blockers extended in the full court. Doesn't make sense because, like a goalie, you don't want your goalie in hockey or soccer running, not being in front of the goal. So, you know, I think we pressured really well today, but we did it on the half court and kept our bigs at home so we get those block shots so we can out-rebound them. And there's not much daylight in there for guards that get off. You know, they blow by that first line defense, but what you're seeing is skyscrapers and trees and a lot of length when you get to the mid-range or the rim, so it's tougher to finish, you know. Now, obviously, Syracuse, or, you know, as we step up in class and start playing teams like Villanova, it's going to be a lot different because they have players that are just as good as ours. You know, so.
Steve, just with Syracuse coming up, I mean, how important is it to have a game like this with them, and can you just quickly assess the challenge?
You know, we just have to keep getting better. Syracuse naturally is a game that has a lot of hype and a lot of interest because of the rivalry. And, but for our team, it's about going back to practice, have another good week, and preparing well so that we can perform at a high level and give ourselves a chance to be competitive against the best team in the country, or right there, close to being the best team in the country if they're not.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay.